Clint Eastwood is an American actor, director, producer and politician who has a net worth of $375 million. After achieving success in the TV series Rawhide, he rose to international fame with his role as the man with no name in Italian filmmaker Sergio Leone's trilogy of spaghetti westerns during the 1960s, and as anti-hero cop Harry Callahan in the 5 Dirty Harry films throughout the 1970s and 1980s. These early roles, among others, made Eastwood an enduring cultural icon of masculinity and one of the most iconic film actors of all time. Today, we take a look at Clint Eastwood's millionaire lifestyle. California Ranch. Set above a stretch of lush wetlands where the Carmel River flows into the Pacific at Point Lobos, the Mission Ranch property, with its dramatic views of the sea, the rocky Monterey coastline, and a gleaming curve of beach, is one of the most scenic spots on the Northern California coast. Horses, goats, and a flock of sheep graze in the marshy pasture of live oak and eucalyptus. Ducks and heron fish in the long rushes at the riverside, and in the distance, where cypress trees lean away from the wind, the great Pacific combers explode against the coastal rocks in wild bursts of foam. Now, some 40 years later, Eastwood is one of the most successful film stars and directors in the world. His chiseled grin and grizzled chin have appeared in dozens of influential roles, from Detective Harry Callahan of Dirty Harry to the carny performer of Bronco Billy and the dying singer of Honky Tonk Man. He's an Oscar winner for his revisionist western Unforgiven, and he's the proud new owner of the recently reopened and lovingly restored Mission Ranch. By the 1960s, when Eastwood had moved to Los Angeles and was starring in the television series Rawhide, he had acquired his first house on the Monterey Peninsula, and eventually, I just migrated here permanently, he says. A zealous golfer, he took to the greens of the Pebble Beach golf course on Carmel Bay and brought his handicap down to 15. The first movie he directed, Play Misty for Me, was about a Carmel disc jockey, and Eastwood shot it in Carmel and on the rocky Monterey Peninsula. Pebble Beach Estate. According to Mansion Global, this home is one of many that Eastwood owns in Monterey County, and it last changed hands in 1994 for $3.9 million. The listing refers to the home as Hacienda Este Madera, which literally translates to Eastwood Estate, and notes that it is situated on a 4.7-acre gated property in an exclusive area of Pebble Beach. Clarence Tanto, a prominent San Francisco architect, designed the home in the 1920s and is responsible for its Spanish farmhouse style, which features thick adobe walls, terracotta roof tiles, handcrafted ironwork, and iconic Spanish doors. The interiors span 6,900 square feet and encompass a great room with beamed ceilings and breathtaking ocean views. A formal dining room that has hosted iconic dinner parties for artists, authors, dignitaries, and musicians from around the world. The house also has 6 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms. The house is oriented around a central courtyard which features canopied oak trees and a fountain. Lincoln K-Series convertible, 1937. In the 1982 movie Honky Tonk Man, Clint played a Depression-era country and western singer suffering from tuberculosis, who goes on one last cross-country road trip with his nephew. The car they used in the movie was a 1937 Lincoln Model K convertible, a magnificent V12 6.8-litre roadster that launched in 1931. It was described by the manufacturer as an era-defining vehicle. It surges lightly, swiftly ahead, with a touch of the accelerator, an advert gushed at the time. Shifting is smoother, springs are more flexible. Modern beauty has been achieved without the sacrifice of the dignity traditional with Lincoln. Despite Clint's character dying from TB towards the end of the movie, Eastwood so enjoyed driving the Lincoln that he coughed up for the car after production was finished. Austin Healey 100M, 1955. After its stunning debut at the 1952 Motor Show and their subsequent appearance in the Le Mans 24-hour race a year later, Austin Healey's new sports car acquired cult status. Donald Healey named it the 100 on account of its top speed, but that didn't deter his company from introducing a high-performance version in 1955. The 100M had a stiffer suspension, produced 110 brake horsepower, and Clint loved it. Steve McQueen also owned one. This picture is from 1958, the same year Eastwood's career broke with his role as Rowdy Yates in Rawhide. We wonder what he did with his first paycheck. Jaguar XK150 Roadster, 1960. After Austin Healey, Clint traded up for another classic British roadster, the Jaguar XK150. Built between 1957 and 1961, Eastwood loved it, and his version, one of only 9,385 ever made, was the 3.8-litre, producing 220 brake horsepower, and was the last of the Jaguar's original XK lineup. Eastwood was so enamored with the car that he gave it a role in the first film he directed, Play Misty for Me. Pontiac Special Edition Trans Am, 1977. In 1974, Eastwood appeared alongside Jeff Bridges in the road movie Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. In this comedy drama, Bridges is Thunderbolt, a drifter, not high planes, who steals cars, alongside Clint's legendary thief, Lightfoot, and together they rob banks and get into high-speed adventures, etc. You get the idea. Anyway, why we are telling you that is because the white 1973 Pontiac Trans Am 455 that appears in the film was actually Eastwood's, and rumour has it that he still owns it. Less well known, however, is that Eastwood bought another Trans Am, a special edition based on a car that appeared in one of the biggest movies of 1977, Smokey and the Bandit. It was only pipped at the box office by Star Wars. The Trans Am had a monstrous 6.6-litre engine that generated 300 brake horsepower, and the special edition came complete with a Firebird decal on the bonnet. Whether Eastwood bought it because he liked it, or to support his pal Burt Reynolds, star of Smokey and the Bandit, is unknown. But feel free to make up your own mind, any which way you can. So this brings us to the conclusion of today's video. Let us know what you liked about the magnificent lifestyle of Clint Eastwood in the comments below. Until then, hope to see you in another video.